Welcome, everybody, to the Get Bit Podcast, the podcast for blurs, for nerds. If you have a fandom, you are almost certainly welcome here, most of the time. I'm your host, Will Buchanan, of course, the man to my right, your left, depending on how your screen's flipped. I wonder what he has this week for us. So what you got, Joe?
Safe from being canceled by Warner Brothers Discovery, it's me, Joe Tonello.
That wasn't on our bingo card for 2022. So
no, they just told me I'm shelved.
Oh, God. So that means... Oh, wow. We are going to get to that. We are going to get to DC's clean sweep. But before we do get started, guys, just like WWE changing the guard, we are definitely TV-14. Words do fly. However, we do try to watch ourselves. Of course, trailers that might be shown might be too intense for younger viewers, so viewer discretion is advised. Aside from that, welcome. And just like Joe said, we might as well get to the elephant in the room. And
they canceled Scoob 2.
Say what?
They canceled Scoob 2. The Scoobening.
Oh, if you have been under a rock, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, Warner Brothers Discovery, I have to get used to saying that, as of this week, have actually gave a lot of news, I guess you could call it. First and foremost, if you've been under a rock, you understand the Batman, the Batgirl movie, which was completed, shot and wrapped, has been canceled. But that's not the only thing that's been canceled. The Supergirl movie that was supposed to come out will also be canceled. Warner Brothers Discovery has literally decided to go Operation Clean Sweep on a lot of IPs. And when those two were just the tip of the iceberg. Of course, with Warner Brothers Discovery, they are taking a different direction. Which, again, if you've been paying attention, Warner Brothers Discovery has decided that they did want to do a 10-year plan similar to Marvel's MCU cinematic storytelling and continuity, which, again, I'm not mad about. However, I feel like it was 20 years too late because they decided to follow Snyder instead of actually having a plan. But Joe, I got to ask you, well, first about Batgirl. Do you think that was a good move, that was a bad move, or did you think that Warner Brothers Discovery is just being protected?
It's kind of an interesting conundrum because this was supposed to be the first movie to reintroduce Keaton Batman, which I think would it have come out on HBO Max? I think that would have what's a good way of putting this? Lessen the grandeur of Keaton returning to the Batman role. So I feel in that manner, them saving that for better or worse Flash, that to be a better, more high-profile thing for Keaton Batman to return. We only really got like a couple screenshots, and it's hit and miss. The only thing I'm really sad about is that we do not get to see Brendan Fraser in a villain role.
That was the only part I took away from that, because Brendan Fraser, for all intents and purposes, I mean, killed it as Doombot on Doom Patrol. I was looking forward to seeing him as Firefly. I still think we can get him. I still think that he can still reprise his role in Firefly, just because, number one, Matt Reeves is getting a second shot at the Batman. Robert Pattinson is signed on to do the next movie. So I would say that Firefly could still work in that universe of Batman. So Brendan Fraser can still get his Firefly shot. That being said, though, the one thing I took away from this, with the Batgirl being canceled, this is the problem I have with DC. And I think DC finally noticed it and decided to do the right thing. That in order for you to, and I say this as a DC fan first, Marvel fan second, Marvel did it right as far as how they planned out their MCU. They were the first franchise to ever consider movies as a continuum into a cinematic universe that spawns your usual trilogies. Cool. Even made it so far as they spent the last almost the last 2 decades telling these stories. Again, cool. Where DC messed up was that, in my mind, I'm probably lose a lot of fanboys when I say this. They trusted Snyder's vision, which was doing too much at one time in one movie. The problem with that is that since you decided to go that route, everything that followed afterwards was like crap. I mean, for example, look at Suicide Squad. Even though the second one, in my opinion, that was done by James Gunn, was a lot better than the previous one. That was directed by I want to say David Hayter, if I'm right. I could be wrong about that, but the first Suicide Squad was heavily glamorized. Granted, it was still entertaining. It was still watchable.
It was passable.
It was passable. That's the word, passable. It was still passable, but it's still everything that followed afterward. I mean, don't get me wrong. Margot Robbie played a wonderful Harley Quinn, but to see a movie where it says "Birds of Prey" and then underscore the fabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn, and I still said that movie was terrible because number one, you brought in my opinion, Jesse Smollett was Jesse was going to be Black Canary. You brought in Detective Reyes, who was supposed to be the question. It might as well have been the question. And you didn't make it about Birds of Prey. You made it literally about Harley Quinn and tried to introduce Black Mask, which, again, shout out to Ewan McGregor, because I still think he did a great Black. I think he did a great Black Mask. Yeah. But
no,
again,
I actually really enjoyed that movie.
It didn't work. And that's what I'm saying. That's the point I'm getting at. It's just that everything that followed in that Snyderverse didn't work because the first movie didn't work. So it's kind of like a domino effect.
So here's the thing. This is an interesting topic that you bring up because the Snyderverse, the Snyder Boys are out in mass because they have already convinced themselves, much like how politics was very convinced that Robert F. Kennedy would return from the dead to knight or bestow the presidency upon somebody.
Yeah.
Everybody, all the Snyderverse fans are saying, "Oh, DC's listening to us, and they're using this. They're wiping the slate clean and to restore the Snyderverse with this 10-year plan." It's like, no,
it's not.
And the other thing that confuses me, and I think we talked about this a little bit last time, they're already starting to want to boycott Black Adam and Shazam.
Yeah.
Because they do say Shazam is getting probably pushed back to 2023. So it looks like DC only has one movie. Well, no, two movies, because I heard Legion of Super Pets is actually doing fairly decently.
Yeah, but it's still number one. It's still
but they're boycotting it to restore the Snyderverse. And I actually chimed in on one, which has got a lot of traction. It's like, you want to boycott Shazam, which actively takes place in the Snyderverse, makes reference to the Snyder League, and is literally your last bastion of the Snyderverse, and you want to boycott it.
Yeah,
and then you want to boycott Black Adam to fail to restore the Snyder League, despite the fact that The Rock has repeatedly said verbatim, "I want to fight Henry Cavill Superman." Who is the Snyderverse Superman? To which I just put in, well, that's just about as smart as tightrope walking across sugar glass string.
Yeah. Oh, no, you're exactly right. Because, again, and I said this before, and I still say it again, because shout out to Brandon B.D. Davis at comicbook.com for getting this question. I still say it. The Rock answered that question as best as possibly can. When you said, do you want to see Black Adam fight Superman? He sat there and said, now granted, his choice of words may have not been great. I would gladly see Black Adam fight Superman, whoever that person may be. And in hindsight, he probably should have left that second part out. But
no. So he's having to say that differently now, because earlier, while Cavill was still slated as Superman, he was saying, "Oh, I'll fight Cavill."
Yeah.
He said that, but now because of this merger, that is no longer an available option, possibly.
But that's why I say you're exactly right from a legal standpoint. You're exactly right. He has to be careful, and he has to be careful in what he says. But at the same time, it opens up those lanes, because The problem with Cavill was at the time he wanted a producer. He wanted a producer credit, which rightly so. He earned it. He earned a producer credit. But the powers that be in Warner Brothers didn't want to do it, which was the whole thing of him exiting, doing The Witcher and everything else. And but again, now that Warner Brothers Discovery is under new management, now it's like you do know what could actually save a lot of your fan base, aside from the fact of producing a continuous cinematic universe. If Warner Brothers Discovery tomorrow sat there and said, "We have locked down Henry Cavill as our Superman," all is forgiven. Maybe not with the Snyder people, but all is forgiven. But all is forgiven with the rest of DC fans. It's like at least we still have our established three because Affleck. I think Affleck in Aquaman 2 is a test. I mean,
Affleck in Aquaman 2 is we got to do something with these Amber Heard scenes. Get him out of here.
That's pretty much. I mean, that too. They had to do something. They had to do some of those Amber Heard scenes. But again, I love Ben Affleck. I love Ben Affleck as Batman. I like Snyder. Do I like Snyder's direction of him? Absolutely not. But
Whedon Batman was not too bad, but there were some cringe moments with Whedon Batman.
That is I mean, Whedon. It's like, I mean, you kind of take what you get with Josh Whedon. But what I'm saying is though, it's like if you have some established guidelines, like I was telling somebody else, Matt Reeves Batman, I can live with. It's year one Batman. It's dark. It's gritty. He's still learning the ropes. You have great casting, and what made the Batman work was that there were the entire city of Gotham came alive. I mean, Colin Farrell as Penguin was absolutely awesome. John Turturro as Falcone, which to me, that was a scene stealer for me, was him. But
the biggest issue I have with that film is I think almost the Nolan trilogy and this Batman movie really wants them to jump immediately from just learning to be Batman to No Man's Land.
Yeah,
for the life of me, I don't know why.
Because we're so.
But the big. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say this because we're. I was going not to cut you off, but because we're used to it as DC fans, we're so used to literally time jumping. Like movie time skip. It never is just. It never follows. There's no flow to it.
The issue with No Man's Land, though, is we have to look more solidly at each villain's territory.
Yes.
And I don't feel like you can do that in a single film.
No, you can't.
I don't feel you can do that in two films.
But that's what I'm saying. That's where I would like to think that Warner Brothers is hopefully going to take those 10 years and actually make some decent strides with it.
If they're going to do a Batman trilogy, and they kind of did it, but they didn't really with the Nolan film with Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you really think about it, Returns, Batman Begins, and The Dark Knight Rises. So
okay, Dark Knight Rises. There we go. Do the John Paul Valley story.
I see that.
The first movie is Dark Knight Rises. At the end of the film, let him introduce John Paul Valley. Let Bruce break his back. Second movie, let's have armored Batman. We're doing fine with with comic book accurate costumes these days. People will just accept mechanized Batman. Third Batman movie, we take down Bane, we take down John Paul Valley, restore Batman.
That's still fine. But speaking of Batman, though, I did also want to hit the story as well. And again, I think nobody's going to lose no sleep over this. Gotham Knights has been canceled.
They have killed everything but they've killed everything but Stargirl.
Yes. I mean, we already knew Flash. We already knew Flash's next season was going to be the final season.
Arrowverse is dead. They have scrapped every single ounce of Arrowverse, period.
But then again, you can't be surprised. I mean, me and you have both sat there and said, when it comes to the Flash, the fact that it made the season 9 is amazing. Because after 5, it just went downhill. But
after 5, man, you're generous.
I try to be.
After 2, it started going downhill.
Really.
Short incline.
If I was really being a very strict critic, I would probably say episode 5 of season 3 was when it went down. That was it.
It is literally that one hill in San Francisco that you go down inside the hedgehog. You got one really short incline, then a steep down, then a steep descent.
You're not wrong, but Gotham Knights, I'm glad it wasn't coming out. I mean, the whole premise made no sense.
The other sacred child.
Yeah, it made no sense. But then again, it's like we knew that the CW was going to be ending. Stargirl, again, was one of the better shows. I'm glad it's going to get its season 3. It deserves a season 3. I hope it gets moved to HBO Max, but with Warner Brothers Discovery doing a clean sweep after season 3 of Stargirl, we don't know where it's going to wind up. It could still remain on CW. It could go to HBO Max.
I mean, the interesting thing that we're looking at here on this HBO Max Discovery thing is we'll get to some other stuff, but there are certain films and certain shows that are still in production. Blue Beetle, for all bizarre logic, is safe.
Because
it's still going.
Because that's going to wind up being good. I think. I mean, Blue Beetle's still going. Blue Beetle, like I said in our group chat, Blue Beetle is going to wind up being DC's Guardians of the Galaxy gamble. Because if you really look at the MCU, outside of people that read comic books, not a lot of people knew who Guardians of the Galaxy were. I mean, unless you're heavy in comic books, or you just happen to look up and see something that says Star-Lord and you started reading on the MCU wiki. But something that was literally a gamble turned out to be a mega hit, and now is going into its third and final volume, in which James Gunn's already told us, go ahead and get ready for some dark stuff. I think Blue Beetle is going to be the same thing for DC. I really, really think it will be. And I'm hoping it will be, because I think that's the reason why that's still allowed to go in. I think that's the reason why that's still allowed to be going to production, to be shot. That's why Shazam will take care of itself. Black Adam will take care of itself. Aquaman, again, will take care of itself. Wonder Woman, because we know there's going to be a Wonder Woman 3 coming. Whether or not it comes before Cleopatra and that mess, don't know. But that takes care of itself. So
nothing happens to her. Cleopatra is much like the Superman franchise. It's a cursed franchise.
Yeah.
Nothing good ever happens to anybody that is in the Cleopatra role.
I was kind of hoping it would get dropped. I was kind of hoping she would drop it and focus on Wonder Woman 3, because we need a cleanser after 84.
The sad thing that has happened, that has befallen, and the Superman curse has struck again, people. Unfortunately, Henry Cavill did have to mod his PC because it's just too hot, and now it has to be water cooled.
You know what?
He literally posted that. It's like, well, now I got to update my PC again. It's too hot in the house. Now I got to install a water cooling system.
It was just the fact, just not to go off topic, but to see, as a tech person, it makes my heart full. It makes my heart full when you see someone get that giddy over installing anything in a PC. It's like
he's doing War Machine paintings.
Yes, but he is literally gushing over it. Like, this is so cool. And as a tech person, I'm like, that gives me hope. That gives me a little bit of hope. But it's just like Warner Brothers could actually solve this problem. Warner Brothers Discovery could solve their own problem. I hope they do a 10-year plan. It doesn't have to be phases. If you really think about it, it's like everybody's like, oh, you're copying Marvel. So Marvel had it's like there was KFC, there's Popeyes, there's Bojangles, and for those that are really of our ages, there was Miss Winners. Now,
which I worked at, never eat at Miss Winners.
So it's like, if you remember those places, all of them, the chicken formula didn't change that much. But at one point, every one of these franchises were successful, all using derivatives of the same formula. So if DC wants to turn around and copy Marvel, I'm like, cool, do so. Because at the same time, there's so many heroes I wish they would do. Just like, for all those that don't know, the Milestone documentary that's on HBO Max, highly recommend you should watch it. Because number one, I would love to see an Icon movie. I would love to see a Static movie. I would love to see Icon Rocket. I would love to see Blood Syndicate. I would love to see Hardware. I would love to see all of those heroes in movies because there is honestly a market for it. It just depends on DC. It depends on Warner Brothers Discovery right now. Which again, I understand it's a restructuring for all those in corporate. Restructuring basically means we have to tighten our wallets and batten down the hatches because we were just throwing money at everything and hoped it stuck. So again, it's like I'm hoping because as a DC fan, I need this to happen because I still think there are still many heroes that can be told, that can be many hero stories that can be told. Yes, Justice League can actually happen. You can even do Justice Society of America if you wanted it to. Just to give some variety. You can do Justice League Dark. You can actually give Keanu Reeves Hellblazer. You
No,
could do
Matt
that.
Ryan only.
Huh?
Matt Ryan only.
I can. Ooh, that's a hellfire debate. That's a hellfire
Well,
debate.
because interestingly enough, in the comic, it actually confirms there are only two variations of John Constantine.
Yeah, but I'm
They
just
say
thinking.
that it's either the Matt Ryan or the Keanu Reeves. Across all the multiverses, there are only two variations.
Yeah, but that just, I hear what you're saying, but actually I thought about that. If you were in the casting chair, which again, for all those that are watching this podcast, and I'm going to probably use this as my clip of the night, but I just want to know if you were in the casting chair for Hellblazer, Constantine, would you go with Matt Ryan or would you go with Keanu Reeves?
I go with the one that doesn't give me Shia LaBeouf as the sidekick.
That's a good question. I was gonna say Keanu, but dang it, but Matt Ryan was. I mean, I don't think he ever got a fair shake on NBC. NBC did Constantine for what, 4 episodes, and then shelved it
No,
off.
they gave him a full season, but
Wasn't it like midway through the season they kind of shuffled him off on every other
they,
Friday?
they did a burner season.
Yeah, because I was like, I thought Matt Ryan did great. But Keanu Reeves is Constantine. That again, great performance. But yeah, just to point that out there for all you guys that are watching, I want to know you guys' opinion. Who do you think would actually be if you could cast between those two? Because I don't think you can go wrong either way. But my heart does kind of go to Keanu a little bit, just because I think that he would be the better Constantine. But what do you think, Joe? While we're on the subject.
No, I told you, Matt Ryan.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't hear it.
Matt Ryan. I mean, the version that doesn't give a Shia LaBeouf.
He did ruin Transformers for me, but that's Michael Bay's fault. But anyway, that being said, before we move on to our reviews of Prey, I did want to say this because I did not know about this, and I just feel like I'm late to the party. Aside from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Shredder's Revenge, again, great game if you haven't played it. Joe, have you had a chance to play it yet?
I have not, but I have gotten to look at Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie that's on Netflix.
What do you think?
Why does that show have such a good animation budget?
Netflix.
No, that show has always had a good animation budget.
What is it? It's produced by Nickelodeon, isn't it?
Yeah, like Nickelodeon gave them like their Avatar: The Last Airbender money for animation.
Oh, damn.
Like that series is just like crap story, but you just watch it just for the animation.
Oh, and there you go. You just said it. Avatar funding. Avatar budget. That explains it.
Speaking of which, we have confirmed we are getting another season of Korra.
Nice. I'm still catching up.
We are also confirmed we are getting more movies, and one of the animated features is Adult Aang.
Adult Aang.
Which we have learned is just a goofy 10-year-old father trapped in the body of a 108-year-old man.
So basically, Goku without hair?
Well, I mean, we have that picture of him still doing the goofy air trick in Legend of Korra in his mid-40s.
Oh, dear God. I have to go find that. But
we did have some confirmation on that. We also have a confirmation on a Zula project.
Okay.
So there's that. But no, Seth Rogen is... I've heard about this for a while. I'm surprised you're just now hearing about it. Mutant Mayhem. I really want to know if that movie means that This is going to be the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles against the Mighty Mutantables.
I have no idea. Just the fact that Seth Rogen is directing this kind of gives me a little bit of hope because I do like a lot of his movies, but the fact that he's coming out with a Teenage Mutant Turtles Mutant Mayhem, and the fact that I just found out about this, it could be a lot of things.
Batman better not be Slash.
I have no idea. That's
If
like
he's going to do a voice, he should only be doing Rocksteady or Pigeon.
That's a good question, but we do know that it will be coming out in theaters. Looks like August the 4th of next year. So there's that. I did not know. I did not know that there was going to be another Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. But that's cool. This is good to know because I mean, don't get me wrong. I think TMNT wasn't bad. The Michael Bay directed ones, they were Hollywoodized, so I didn't actually really expect a lot out of those.
Season 2 was hardcore course correction.
Yeah. So I mean,
or movie 2 is Out of the Shadows.
Out of the Shadows, yeah.
Hardcore correction.
Well, I mean, you had what's his face is Casey Jones. I can't think of his name. Stephen Amell. You had Stephen Amell as Casey Jones.
I still think one of the best Ninja Turtle movies is Ninja Turtles Batman.
Oh, that was good. I like that one.
Mostly because it has a competent Shredder who does win in a fight against Batman.
I call BS.
Why? Because he uses a key technique on Batman and just absolutely one punches him?
I call BS in that entire fight. But
that is still one of my favorite lines from the horrible 2000s crossover movie. It's like, oh, it's the Shredder, and they're talking to the 80s Turtles. It's like, we feed them all the time. You don't understand. Our Shredder is competent.
Oh, man. With that being said, we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on to some reviews. The first movie we're gonna go over is basically be Prey. Prey is the latest installment in the Predators franchise that was on Hulu. Me and Joe have both watched it, but we do want to go over the trailer first before we talk about
it. Why do you want to hunt? Because you all think that I can't. I saw a sign in the sky. I'm ready. Muy bonita. There's something out there. I'm coming with you.
You can't.
I'm trying to protect you.
Protect me from what? It's time.
It knows how to hunt. I know how to survive. Whatever did this, I can kill it.
Okay, so that was the trailer for Prey. Joe, I'm gonna let you go first because I know you've seen it. What did you think of it?
I really enjoyed it. I think the most interesting aspect of there are multiple interesting aspects. First off, I watched this in the Comanche dub.
Okay.
That actually kind of made the movie a little bit better to me because the majority of this cast is indigenous people,
Hmm.
which that is fantastic. That, like, I think outside of the few white dudes that are in here as the pilgrims slowly move into Western territories from, where we came from originally. Um, the cast is entirely of tribal and indigenous people. So much so that they actually did do a full Comanche dub
Hmm.
for this movie, which I found to be fantastic. Kind of made the movie a bit more unique. It's like when you watch Mulan, the animated movie in Chinese,
Ah.
and then you realize General Shang is Jackie Chan the whole time. No, he really
um,
is.
I'll never get that out of my head for a little while. Um,
And the other cool thing I liked about this, and I will call a spade. This is very much like the original Predator, and all Predator movies are kind of have the same plot.
mhm.
But the cool thing I liked about this is this particular Predator has ancestral weapons
Yeah.
because they're not at the point in the future where we are in the other Predator movies. So they have a very still high tech for what it is. He still has the shoulder cannon, but his shoulder cannon is like Gen
See,
1, Gen 2 shoulder cannon.
yeah,
Not everything he I can't remember if he has all the visions or if he only has like one or two visions.
one. It was just one. But
So
it,
like this is an sorry, I keep cutting you off.
nah, you
This
got
is a Predator clan that is clearly not been against xenomorphs.
hmm
They are here on Earth. Um, as you can see, he thought his biggest trophy until the humans got involved. His biggest trophy was that brown bear.
Yeah.
And it just kind of de-escalates into the Arnold movie where girl sets traps, girl uses ingenuity,
hmm
girl covers herself in mud so she can't be seen by thermal vision. But in the grand scheme of things, I thought it was fine. I enjoyed it. It's a good it's a better attempt at Predator than what we've been getting. Like this is one of those things where I'll be like, Prey, Predator 1, Predator 2. That's all you got to see for Predator. I'm sorry, Jake Gyllenhaal. Your Predator on the Predator thing with uh, Topher Grace as the main villain is just got like bumped off to the side. Now let's
So
talk about Super Predators.
so I'm Mount Rushmore. So Alien versus Predator Requiem, and I know I'm missing something else.
Predators, The Predator.
Yeah. So four movies that you might as well just consider them just canon.
Yeah, we're just sweeping them under the rug. They're a side story.
No, I don't think there was, unless
No,
you
I'm
count
saying
that.
they're all side stories now.
Oh, they're side stories. Okay.
Yeah, you just like
I,
it's just like the Alien trilogy. It's
oh
called
God.
Alien and Aliens. Well, how is that trilogy? You heard what I said. You watch Aliens twice.
Because we're not going to count. We're not going to count three in Prometheus.
I'll count three, but I'm going to count the comic book version of it, where they're
Fair,
on the space station.
all right, fair. I mean, don't get me wrong. For what Prey was, the CGI was great, cinematography was great. I like the fact that the indigenous Comanches actually being put in there because they are famous for the tracking and hunting, for the tracking and hunting skills. Again, that's all cool, but it's still the same. And I was telling someone else about this. To me, it's still the same Predator movie. And I don't expect a lot. Because again, Predators, the ultimate hunter, they're looking to capture the ultimate prey. I can see the allure of using a famous native tribe versus the greatest hunters in the known galaxy. I get it. Does it work story wise? I'm not gonna lie. It was kind of hard for me to keep my attention sometimes to that show, but I can see why Hulu didn't take a safe bet. Hulu took a safe bet. I mean, they kept it under budget. They made it on streaming, and from what I've been told, it's been streaming very high on Hulu. So it may be a nice little. It might be a nice little mint for Hulu, but for me, it's like I'm good. It's like once I seen Danny Glover take out a predator that was pretty much running on crack cocaine. I'm good. I was like, there's nothing more you can top that. I'm just saying.
Nah.
But
what else? I finally got to see Lightyear.
what'd you think?
I've given you 5 minutes. The best character in that movie is hands down Socks.
Socks was the hero.
Socks is the thing. It's like, do you just hear? It's like the guy falls over. He's like, "What was that for me? If I got that in, I've given you 5 minutes."
He's like, you've been having that on you the entire time.
My other favorite part was where he's having a hairball to make a blowtorch.
That was funny. No, I think Lightyear was surprisingly good. I did like the fact of I was wondering how they're going to be in Berserk. I was like, so you're basically saying
That
the way
part
they
I
did
didn't like
that.
because they had already established prior to this that Zurg is supposed to be Buzz's dad.
Yeah. Which again, I can understand. That's like, yeah, okay, I see what you're trying to do because the fact you're saying that because of the hyperdrive, it shot him through time. So, okay, I can live with that because I mean,
two independent timelines.
yeah, it's Back to the Future all over again.
So here's the thing that gets me, and this is just me because they established that this is the movie that Andy saw in 1995,
right?
To make him want the Buzz Lightyear toy.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know what idealistic paradise of 1995 he was in that this would have been acceptable.
That's a fair question. That's a fair question, I think. I mean, 1995. Oh, dear God.
You would not have an openly gay relationship shown as explicitly in 1995 in a children's animated movie.
I'm trying to think.
Never.
Let's time capsule this. 95 was what? Disney was Aladdin 95 or 96?
Let me put it this way. We were still in the read my lips era, I think.
I want to say because no, The Lion King was 97. See, look up Disney movies in 95.
I'm doing it right now.
I was going to say Disney movies in 1995.
We had Toy Story 1.
Okay.
That can't be right.
Yeah, it has to be. The release date for Toy Story was in 95.
Wow, CGI has come so far. A Goofy movie.
Okay.
Pocahontas.
Still safe.
That's it.
That's it? Damn. I thought we had a few more.
Balto.
It's still safe. I was looking for questionable movies, but technically in 95, I think 95 was still safe. I think you had Walt Disney kind of stuck with Tom and Huck, if I'm right. I want to say Pocahontas, a kid.
No, that's really it. It's just Toy Story, a Goofy movie, and Pocahontas.
Wasn't there like a King Arthur's Court? It wasn't animated though. I mean, that wasn't animated. I'm sorry.
Films of 95 from Disney.
Because I had to think about it. I think those were.
So we had The Barefoot Experience, Beach Party at Walt Disney, The Big Green. And these are movies that are involved with Disney.
The Big Green.
Crimson Tide, Dead Presidents, the remake of Skate to Witch Mountain, Father of the Bride 2, Four Diamonds, Frank and Ollie, the 95 version of Freaky Friday.
Okay, so
Bones, a Goofy movie, Heavyweights, House Guest. I don't know how, but Judge Dredd.
It was 95. That was 95. Judge Dredd was Sylvester Stallone was 95.
Kid in King Arthur's Court, Tom and Huck, The Ties That Bind, Whisper of the Heart, when they released the Ghibli movie.
Right.
Slam Dunk Ernest. Roommates, Powder, if you ever want to remember that.
Ooh,
No, I got one better.
ooh,
Operation Jumbo Drop. Man of the House and Mr. Holland's Opus.
Oh wow. Okay. So yeah, for a same-sex couple kiss, yeah, in a time where it was not even shown.
Same-sex couple kiss. Same-sex couple children, grandchildren, open relationship.
I was gonna say, what was I think the first same-sex kiss that was ever it was Roseanne Barr. I remember that. It was on the show Roseanne, but I don't think it was in '95.
Yeah, and honestly, we're focusing very much on this one thing with the Hawthorne. But my question is, this movie wouldn't have flown anywhere in '95. So
Oh,
I
no.
want to know what like
Oh,
timeline Andy's in, so we can get to that timeline.
oh, actually, that could have happened. Although it's a weird thing, it could have been the Roseanne Barr. A quick look up the episode of Roseanne where she had the same sex kiss. They said that episode released in 1994, 1995. So
Let me preface this with this. Is it with two white women? Because this was with a black woman and a Japanese woman.
yes, it was two white women.
There we go.
So yeah. So just that was I know the tangent we went on, but I was like, there has to be a 6 degree of separation in this. But
so the movie itself, I really enjoyed. The only thing I was let down by is the fact that who Zurg turned out to be.
yeah.
Of course, this movie was totally made up by the cat. The cat was the best part. Taika Waititi does a serviceable job.
Yeah.
I'm still unsure if this is before or after the animated series because it's very dubious, and I want to say it's before because how the Space Ranger suits look like in the end.
It would make you think it has to be before.
It would have to be before the animated series.
Mm-hmm.
But like I have still kind of question because they had like those suits correctly, but they had like Warhammer 40K buzzsaw swords, which was hilarious, and actual pistols.
It also could have been a
I think
standalone.
it's before. I think this movie takes place before the animated series,
Nothing wrong with that.
which means that Buzz immediately drops that team and gets paired up with Jason Alexander.
Still funny though. No, I loved Lightyear. I actually took the kids to go see that. That actually had me cracking laughing about socks.
All three of the after credit scenes were fine.
Oh yeah. Which again, I'd explain to people. It's like, do y'all not know that Marvel has trained us that when a movie goes off, we sit there until the screen goes white? We've learned this.
Now, I wouldn't have known about the third one. I definitely would have stayed for the first two, but I wouldn't have thought to stay in an animated film for the second one, for the third one.
Those kids hated me. I'm like, oh no, we're staying. We paid to see the movie to the end. Stay to the end. You never know what you're gonna see. But speaking of that, though, speaking of Lightyear, that was also good. Also, which actually came out on Netflix today, was Neil Gaiman's The Sandman. Now, before I play this trailer, if you are under the age of 9 and are easily scared, The Sandman is not for you. For all those that have read the Neil Gaiman graphic novels and listened to the audiobooks, you will not be disappointed. Check it out.
Your waking world is shaped by dreams. Dreams and nightmares that I create and which I must control. He's out there looking for me, isn't he?
Can you imagine the damage he could do?
I need your help. If dreams disappear, then so will humanity.
I could do without dreams for a while. I haven't had a decent night's sleep in ages.
I'm not going to stop until I've reshaped this world.
Tell us, what power of dreams
I thought about giving up, but I have a job to do, and I do it.
Things have changed.
Your eyes will tell me everything. Every thought, every feeling.
My creations do not walk amongst the living, killing mortals for pleasure.
Oh, you don't think dreams can die? Let's find out.
Nightmares do not belong in the waking world.
Oh, it turns out I fit right in.
Dreams don't die.
Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream.
Okay, so that was the Sandman trailer that's currently on Netflix. Currently, there are 10 episodes right now. I've only seen the first one before we start this podcast. I will say this because, again, for all those that don't know, there is a YouTube video that will catch you up on the Sandman as far as the story itself. I would still highly recommend to read the graphic novels. Neil Gaiman is a Gaiman. I keep mispronouncing his name. Is definitely a very accomplished author. But I will say this, just for a standpoint, this story is really for young adults and up. This is not Harry Potter. I have to stress this very heavily. If your child is under the age of 10 and he asks to read the Sandman, don't. At least let him get some life experiences because it's gonna mess him up. But I will say this: my first impression of the first episode, great start. Again, Neil Gaiman was definitely heavily involved in this, as he was involved in American Gods on Stars. But as a person, as a fan of the series and a fan of the audiobooks, it is definitely worth watching. But Joe, I know you haven't had a chance to watch it yet. I know you said you're going to watch it. You're going to give it some. You're going to watch it so we can get your thoughts on it, right?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I'm a huge Sandman fan. I'm hoping we'll get like a wink and a nod to Wesley Dodds because of both Sandman's connection to each other.
Mm-hmm.
I think Tilda Swinton being cast as Lucifer is fantastic. I am going to be a little bit biased because I have the Audible books where it's the one that played Professor Xavier in First Class.
James Avery?
James McAvoy.
Oh, there we go. Sorry.
James McAvoy is Dream, and God, I can't think of names for anything.
Oh, see, I had to do the audio book.
Oh, come on. I just want the actress's name. I don't care about who. Oh, thank you. And Kat Dennings' death kind of fit way too well in my imagination for the characters. Honest to God, I thought when I saw Jenna Coleman in the preview, she was going to be death, but that's not the case. I would have actually taken Jenna Coleman as death.
I mean, well, she is the Impossible Girl.
Well, right now she's also Queen in Xenoblade 3. So.
But again, but we're gonna come back to Sandman next week.
Yeah, we'll come back to Sandman. My only thoughts is them making the Corinthian as the primary antagonist, where he's just kind of like a side character till, at least for me in the books, I'm at the point where he like Dream notices him and he's like, yeah.
I'm gonna leave it be because I have a theory about that, but I want to wait till the end to see if it's gonna be what I think it is. I have a theory about that, but I'll have to explain that when you watch. After I watch all 10 episodes. But
just to ape the joke, it's not Mephisto, it's Neuron. It has to be Neuron.
Okay. You're not gonna make me break on this episode, Joe. That being said, guys, we do want to move on. We do have some video game news. Again, if you haven't been under a rock, Joe, I know you have some news about Evo, but before you actually get into Evo news, Maximilian Dodd, which again, if you don't know him, very, 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 very famous YouTube sensation, was reviewing the news from Arcade 1-Up. So again, arguably one of the most popular arcade fighting games will now be coming to a cabinet. And basically, this is them talking about it.
Oh my God. Oh my God. They have a trailer. Eight games? What? Is it actually in widescreen? No. Online, okay.
Marvel versus Capcom 2.
Wow. There was a quick trailer.
Yeah, that was unexpected. But yeah, Marvel's Capcom 2 has been freed.
Of course, Justin's been working on it.
Freed MVC2, and we are
Hashtag freed.
We have the official release where it's going to be, you can't really get the game anymore, right? The only other times is like you have to go way back in time to get those cartridges for like Dreamcast, PS2s, but we have the official Arcade 1-Up Marvel's Capcom 2 cabinet, and obviously it also comes with the other games from X-Men Street Fighter and the Marvel's Capcom cabinet.
Shit.
Obviously I tested a lot of this, and
so wait a minute, it comes with every single Versus title and Marvel 2
as a kid growing up, going to tournaments,
and they're all online. And do they play with the older cabinets?
I love that. And let's take it back for a second. Maybe for a newbie, maybe someone like me that's not as
so this was like expected, chat. Unexpected but expected. There was some leaks earlier which was like, oh shit, if this actually goes through, it does crossplay with older cabinets. Holy shit.
For people like you getting into it,
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and cut that there because I did want to show that part. But yes, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, 1-Up, Arcade 1-Up, if you don't know, those are the guys get with cabinets. Think Teenage Mutant Turtles, The Simpsons, Pac-Man, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, NBA Jam, and now Marvel vs. Capcom 2, which initially will start out as a Dreamcast title. And like Max Dude said, and like Justin Wong said, you will be hard-pressed to find a copy of that anywhere outside of emulators, and is now available as a Arcade 1-Up cabinet machine with 8 other games, and the simple fact of the matter, it has network capability. So if you're like me, again, arguably one of the most popular fighting arcade games you can find, and this is now going to be available. I believe if you try to go to the site, because I tried to go earlier and it kind of crashed, but I think it's up now. Let's try it. So if you were to go to Arcade 1-Up right now, of course, pre-ordering right now is on September the 8th. With shipping is going to be Wi-Fi enabled, as they said. And as you can see, price-wise, I'm assuming it's going to be up there.
It's $600.
Woo! Yeah, I was right. $600.
Yeah, so you get X-Men Children of the Atom, X-Men Mutant Apocalypse, Marvel Superheroes and War of the Gems, Marvel Superheroes, X-Men vs. Street Fighter, Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter, Marvel vs. Capcom 2. You can get it right now for $300 off at Amazon or Best Buy.
Jesus.
So let's see what Amazon's going for.
So $600.
So here's the thing.
Go ahead.
There are 2 variations on this, I think.
Okay.
There are head-to-head arcade cabinets at Amazon for $399 right now.
I'm just surprised that there's not a link to Amazon on this. But then again, I was doing it directly from 1-Up.
Well, I'm not sure if this is the MVC2 or if it... No. The one they're showing on Amazon right now is the old cabinet.
Gotcha.
It's a gaming table.
But still, wow. I mean, don't get me wrong, it is going to be great. Again, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is one of the harder games to find. At the same time, it is still, I mean, for it to be a one-up, it's going to be beautiful. But again, pre-order, you can pre-order for September the 8th, $600 out the gate if you got it. I don't know if I can justify that. I don't know if I can justify it. But again, there you have it. But Joe, what are your thoughts about this, man? I know you're about to go into the Evo stuff, but what's your thoughts on Marvel vs. Capcom 2 as a cabinet game?
I mean, I get to watch people play the same 5 characters in rotation over and over and over again in their homes. That means everyone gets to use only Cable, Storm, Magneto, Black Sentinel, or Doctor Doom in a roster of 56 characters.
I was always, let's see, Marvel vs. Capcom. Dang, it's been so long. Iron Man, Captain America, and Spider-Man.
Okay, here we go. Here's all the specifications in the overview. So Wi-Fi enabled for online play.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. So Wi-Fi enabled, side art panels, custom riser, light up marquee, headphone jack.
You gotta have a headphone jack.
All the game specifications. Weight, it's 69 pounds. Adjustable audio, clear deck protector, anti-tip over strap. It looks okay. I was playing this hardcore, but I never played. I think I only ever played Magneto, but like you play all the roster if you're not competitive. If you're competitive in MVC2, you only can pick from 5 characters, realistically. And if you were that one guy that picked Samba de Amigo, well, then you had better heads up on most characters.
I don't know. I just get 600. But then again, I'm the same person that wants an Xbox. I want an Xbox One, Xbox X, and then PS5. So that's in the same ballpark. But shoot, at 600, the funny part is at $600. But then again, if you think about it, 8 games. It comes with 8 games. It's gonna be Wi-Fi enabled. I mean, if you're doing a tournament, it would make sense. I mean, if you're doing a tournament or just making money with the system, I guess in the end it would pay itself. But
oh man,
$600 though. Whew.
Now I'm looking right now. They have a sale going on for their Ridge Racer arcade machine for only $400.
Ridge Racer?
Yeah, Ridge Racer.
That's not bad.
It's $300 off. It's also $300 off for the Simpsons 4-player machine.
See, but oh god, I would be able to swing that. I would be able to swing
$200 off for their KI machine.
I can't justify that to her as much as I would love to. I can't justify that to my boss. But
KI, KI2, and Battletoads and KI Gold.
That'd be interesting. But that's good now. But what's the Evo news that you got, Joe?
So Evo news is going on right now. They did some stuff with SNK, and SNK, we won't say they have bought Code Mystics, but to quote Maximilian Dude, who I love watching Max all the time, they are in bed with Code Mystics because Code Mystics is the one that gave us the rollback GPPO style netcode for KOF 98 Ultimate Edition and KOF 15.
Okay.
They are now installing it in the Samurai Showdown game that came out.
Oh, that takes me back to the SNK days.
So the newest Samurai Showdown will have rollback netcode, which greatly improves the standing of that game because that game is fantastic, but God in heaven, that online play was shit.
Yeah, that's because of how they built them. They built the freaking base around it. Was you know what? From an IT standpoint, just say it was getting terrible. But go ahead, Joe.
But like the game is done. I don't think they're getting another season. I bet you they will get another season.
Oh yeah,
the rollback netcode comes out. But I mean, they got one of the greatest guest characters And most appropriate guest character for that game, they got Biken from Guilty Gear.
Nice.
Also out, KOF 15, the Orochi New Face team, which is the Orochi versions of Yashiro, Shermie, and Chris, will be available on the 8th. They have announced that in 2023 there will be crossplay, meaning they will be working on their matchmaking finally.
Nice.
Matchmaking has been kind of a sore spot in the KOF thing. Also Sunday, they will be announcing the 4th team for KOF 15, and they will be announcing what their new timeline is for season 2 for KOF 15.
Man, we are living in a spoiled time.
We also have the new timeline for Guilty Gear Strive.
Mm-hmm.
Get the roadmap pulled up. Reveals roadmap for 2022 and beyond. As soon as the internet wants to pull up. We get come on, pull up.
I was always one of my things in my bucket list was to actually go play an Evo. While you're looking that up, I just thought about that. That was one of the things I always want to say I did. But the fact that they have Street Fighter V, Guilty Gear, Mortal Kombat Ultimate Tekken 7, King of Fighters, Melty Blood, Dragon Ball Fighters, Grand Blue Fantasy versus its Skullgirls, which I am surprised that is still in rotation. But is that me or was that you?
No, that was me.
Okay.
It's the video for whatchamacallit. Okay, so for Guilty Gear Strive, Summer 2022, we get a new character, additional character color. PlayStation 5 is getting a patch that reduces input delay.
Okay.
Steam is getting reduced connection time for the initial server to connect. Fall 2022, we get a crossplay beta test for PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and Steam. The crossplay update once the beta is over. New character 7. Winter 2022 will be a battle balance patch. 2023 will be new character 8, additional stage 3, and new character 9, additional stage 4. See if there's anything else on here.
Oh, Vegas.
Nope. Everything is there.
Cool.
And that's it for that. What else? Oh, we got the Pokemon stuff coming out.
Oh, what you got? I'm sorry. I was looking at the Evo stuff. I was like, oh, it's in Vegas. Nice. What Pokemon news you got?
We got the new Pokemon trailer that dropped with all that Pokemon news.
Mm-hmm.
Lechonk has officially been replaced in everybody's hearts, except for mine. Everybody now has a new Overlord and Master, which we will see here in just a moment.
Okay. Lechonk. The pig that stole everybody's hearts. That's still funny. Actually, while you're looking that up, let me do this trailer as well before you get to the Pokemon news. Because speaking of video games, guys, again, AEW, I know we have heard about AEW's game, but they say it's a leak. I call it a plan. But they did actually show a trailer for it. So before we get to Pokemon news, let's actually show this trailer for AEW Fight Forever.
Tony.
Hey.
What are you doing?
Brett, hey, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
Going to my room.
No.
What? Go away. What?
Get your bag. Come on.
Go to my room. What? Don't step on the pizza.
Don't let anybody see you. Come on, shut the door. No, get in first. No, leave your bag here. Come on, hurry.
What? What's happened in here?
AEW Fight Forever video game happened here.
All right. So now what?
Well, are you hungry? On second thought, don't eat that. But now, it's finally time to reveal AEW Fight Forever to our AEW fans at the THQ Nordic Digital Showcase. Check it out, Tony. I will be me, the one legendary DMD, and you will be Adam Cole.
Oh man, this game is awesome.
I told you would love it.
Yeah.
I told you. Am I ever wrong?
No,
Never.
no, I should.
Never.
Whoa, yeah. This game is it's tremendous. Are there any weapons in this game?
Are there any weapons? Look how easy this is to play. You didn't have to figure out a million freaking buttons. Even though I could have, because I'm a dentist.
Oh, no.
But I just picked it up today and started playing, and I'm already the best at it.
Yeah.
And career mode.
Wow.
Mini games.
Wow, I'm really excited you tell me about career mode. I can tell you that. Yeah. And almost lost my mind when I found out that AEW Fight Forever has mini games.
How did you find out about the mini games?
You told me.
AEW Fight Forever, coming soon.
D and D. Knock your teeth out, Shivani.
Well, at least I know a good dentist.
Now that was actually the trailer, guys, for Fight Forever. As you can see, I don't think I was trying to see if they actually had a release date, but they really don't as of yet. Again, Kenny Omega is all over this, which I love because if you know who Kenny Omega is, besides being a fantastic wrestler, he is an avid gamer. And Jukes, for all those that don't remember, I think Jukes initially with THQ, they did about every WWE game up until about, I want to say Raw versus SmackDown, if I'm right. Because I know they did No Mercy, which again is still, yes, in WCW Road Rage. Thank you, Joe. I still say No Mercy was still the best fighting game of all time. That's just me, because how fluid the motion was. But WCW Revenge was good too. But again, with AEW Fight Forever coming out, definitely looking forward to that. But yeah, it looks great with mini games, and also the beauty thing about it is intergender wrestling. Something you could have never done on any outside of Fire Pro Wrestling. You couldn't do that on any other wrestling game. So if you ever wanted it, which one?
I thought you could in WCW versus NWO. Couldn't you do Miss Elizabeth versus Underliger or Ultimo Dragon?
I want to say you can't, but I'm not 100% sure about that. I want to say you can, but I'm not sure because if memory serves me right, I've never seen any of the games actually allow intergender wrestling. So I could be wrong, and if you're watching this podcast, please tell us. I would like to know. I'm about 70% sure that's right. But if I'm wrong, please come out there and tell me. I don't mind being corrected because I would love to go back and actually find out. But again, Fight Forever, definitely gonna be following that when it comes out. But I see, Joe, you got your stuff up, so just let me know when you're ready to pop up, dude.
I gotta say, it looks a little janky right now. I'm sure that's beta footage.
Yeah, it is.
Or at the very least, they finally got a vertical slice for the game. What? I know industry terms. I read books.
Nope. I'm not getting that satisfaction. Nope.
Anyways.
I'm not getting that satisfaction. Nope.
But it's not like I don't read books. Anyways, I enjoyed it. It looks nice. I hope the roster's pretty deep. I hope we get some good stuff. Definitely looks like it's more in the line of the THQ games, which was the No Mercy and NWO versus WCW Revenge, and less like Ukes' thing, which Ukes did a really good job with the early SmackDowns.
Yeah.
And then it just got bogged down to high heaven.
Well, they try to do more graphics. They were more graphics intensive than actual fluid movements, but that's just my argument. But no, I'm looking forward to Fight Forever.
I better have a creator wrestler, and I better be able to make Kaneko Man like I have been forever.
Oh, come on. It's Kenny Omega behind this. You already know it's going to be
We
there.
also missed something else about Kenny Omega. Do not forget, he's also the mayor of Metro City. Yes, he is the voice of Cody.
That is true. I completely forgot about that.
Wednesday, we got an announcement from Pokemon. This is more of a formal announcement. I think they also had to do some damage control because a lot of Pokemon leaks came out.
Oh, damn. Okay.
So this is them like, here's almost 3 minutes of new stuff. So new Pokemons.
All right.
Attention, please. Today, we begin the treasure hunt. Travel across Paldea. Get to know the region. The abundant nature. The rich culture. The Pokemon. And the people. Where will you go? Who will you meet? What will you achieve? With you will be your Pokemon. Journey together. Learn together. Grow together. Find something to treasure. Let the treasure hunt begin.
Okay. That's so it's a treasure hunt?
Well, I think they're just saying treasure for it because the theme this time around, their gimmick this time around is the Crystal Onyx episode from season 1 of Pokemon.
Oh, where's my son?
All the Pokemon now, the Palette forms can become crystallized and actually change type variation.
Isn't that kind of chipping off Digimon just a little bit?
No, it's perfectly acceptable.
Just enough to get lawyers involved.
I mean, you know.
Just
We're not having a tiger turn into a raptor turning into a refrigerator with a Gatling gun. So we're doing our evolution thing. It's just branch things. It's why I said it's the anime for the first season where they encounter a crystal onyx just made into the thing.
Huh.
The thing that gets me the most is right now is everyone's having their heyday, and honestly, I gotta agree. Legendaries are the new ride Pokemon, so I don't understand what's so legendary about them.
Hey, so all legendary Pokemon can be ridden.
No, like the 2 legendary dragons for this thing. If you from the trailer, it knows surf, fly, rock climb, probably jump, so that means it can learn. It probably can do cut.
Huh. Okay.
So it's your Poke Ride. The other thing that everyone's making fun of is that the ancient one, which is for Scarlet, despite it having the motorbike, it runs around on its legs.
Well, I mean, gas is kind of high.
Yeah, I know, but that's why we got the future version where we're past such frail problems and you can zoom along around in your Tron Dragon.
Trosh.
Also, as you saw, the new Lord and Master is the Doe Dog Pokemon known as Fido, who is a fairy type. It has also now been confirmed that the dessert team is now officially viable. So you can get all 6 of the dessert type Pokemon and form a full team.
Fido? I gotta be like...
It's a 3-stage Pokemon. I want the final form to be called Croissant Weiler.
I will not get that out of my head for the rest of the night. I was like Fido. I was like, of all the names, Fido? Of all the names I've heard in Pokemon, Fido. Okay. Maybe it's spelled different. Maybe it's spelled differently. It could be spelled differently. It could be a different pronunciation. I'm gonna leave it be. It could be completely different. But if it's Fido, I'm gonna be like, y'all aren't even trying anymore.
No, it's Fidough.
Okay, that's fine. I can live with that. As long as it's not the pronunciation I thought it pronunciation spelling I thought it was. No, that's cool. But when does that come out as far as that next Pokemon?
Couple months actually. Normal Pokemon Day, February 18th.
Oh God! Oh, February. Okay, I was gonna say not November.
Not February, excuse me, November 18th.
Ooh, right around God of War. Ooh.
Well, that's not the one I feel sorry for.
Still, that's
the one I feel sorry for is Cardfight Vanguard Gear Days. That comes out on February. I don't know why I keep saying February. That comes out on November 17th.
Ooh, that's not getting well. I mean, because if I'm right, God of War is the 17th, so it's like, ooh.
Oh, it's okay. God of War is going to get its money taken away from it by Pokemon. Everything does. It's Pokemon.
I'm gonna take your word for it on that one. I'm like Ragnarok has been wanted, waiting, and now we're less than a couple of we're actually less than a month or so away from it.
It's still Pokemon.
I'm sorry, not less than a month, 2 months. Sorry, November. I was like, I'm doing what you're doing now. It's like I'm thinking September, November. It's still 2 months away, but yeah, fair point. But that's all the news I got. You got anything else, Joe?
No. Outside of that Reddit post, we mentioned from whatchamacallit.
Oh yeah, that Reddit post. That's why I was kind of worried about putting it up there. What Joe's talking about is the Reddit post that he shared, and I'll probably go back and actually put this in the comments on the YouTube page for all those that want to see it. A insider was relaying information about a earnings call that was done with Warner Bros. Discovery, and a lot of shall we say internal memos and thoughts got shared. One of them relates to Batgirl. One of them that stuck out to me was actually the one about the Batgirl movie, where literally it was saying, quote unquote, it was horribly, horribly bad, and because of how bad it was, that Warner Bros. Discovery had decided that they wanted to protect the IP by shelving the entire movie and basically eating the costs. So that kind of made me think right there that I was like, okay, as much as we would love to see a Batgirl movie, well, of course, as we said at the beginning of this podcast with Brendan Fraser being Firefly, I can see why if it was that bad. Because keep in mind, guys, the Flash movie is still coming out. Despite Ezra Miller and his extracurricular activities that are somewhat illegal in most states, that movie's still coming out. Now, if Ezra Miller couldn't derail his own movie, but still they must Warner Bros. Discovery either felt like they have went beyond the point of no return with the Flash movie with excuse me, with Michael Keaton's Batman in it, or they felt it was strong enough that just override the negativity and still make a profit. But either way, they felt more strongly about a Flash movie going out than a Batgirl movie that recently wrapped up and filmed, and they are about to shelve it. So that is saying a lot. That's all. That's about the best way I could put it. It's saying a lot. But then again, look at the previous movies DC has put out outside of its animation studios. Which again, as me and Joe talked about the previous Green Lantern movie last week, Where My Power, outside of a few stories, I mean, that was still a somewhat solid animated movie. So just goes to show you guys, DC, I should say not DC, Warner Brothers Discovery is definitely up for the clean sweep. But let me know when you're ready, Joe. So you can go on I know you're getting your comics pulled up because I have some questions. I have so many questions about comics, about the comic pool this week. But
is it why Doom has a Harley?
Yes. That is one of them. Yes. Just because that part, I was like, why does Dr. Doom need a Harley? Matter of fact, why was he on Hell's Backbone? That's what I want to know. That's the one. That's the part that bugs me to death. Why was
magical powers? More magical powers.
He didn't even. You know what? Never mind. I see it. Okay. Now that one, I admit that issue of Batman. I'm sorry, Joe. Go ahead.
All right. So first off, we are still looking at Batman. This has managed to hold my interest far longer than any other Batman book because this is the second Batman book I've read.
Mm-hmm.
This is written by Chip Zdarsky of Daredevil fame, Jorge Jimenez, who has done many wonderful books, most notably the Scott Snyder run of Justice League, Cars by Tumu Mori. Long and short, we are dealing with the fallout of Tim being shot, Bruce Wayne slowly becoming out of his depth, and a contingency plan is activated in the Batcave that has activated the Bat Robot failsafe, who goes about being just about as good as a Superman robot with Donna Troy, and is single-handedly destroying pretty much all the Bat family one for one, including Duke, who... At least I love that Zdarsky remembers that Duke is a thing.
Yeah, but still, he got. Ooh.
Everybody did. So the long and short of this one is Failsafe is single-handedly taking out the entire Bat family, Batman included, and Batman has to retreat to an identity he is only used either in the Silver Age as a secondary, entirely different character on an alien world, or Zdarsky is taking from Grant Morrison, where we are going full Batman. And what I mean is, Batman is a spectrum now, is basically a spectrum meter of one side of the needle is Bruce Wayne, in the middle is Bruce Wayne Batman, and at the other end of the spectrum is the Batman of Zur-In Ra, which is no Bruce Wayne, all Batman.
If think of it, I always say it like this: think if Jake from Moon Knight took over. That's about the best I can put that.
Think if Jake from the MCU Moon Knight series took over as Batman. Batman in this thing is more prone to torture, more prone to being open to kill. Bruce Wayne is completely out the window. The entire personality is Batman.
Yep.
So we actually kind of see that in a lot of ways, Bruce Wayne is kind of like the Bruce Banner that keeps the Hulk in check.
Yeah.
For a bizarre analogy across the two, but it kind of fits here. And even Robin's like, "Oh, what the hell is this?"
I mean, that's truly. It's also I always love when people say, "Well, Batman doesn't have a failsafe plan." Yes, he does. It's darker than anything else. it's exactly the reason why it's called a failsafe plan, because the simple fact of the matter is, not only do you have a robot, an Amazo type robot that you built that if you ever went truly dark
I
side,
don't think he built it. I think Alfred built it, and then the back computer is like, "Well, Batman's failed."
because that's the thing about it. Because I remember that part. It's like it's basically if he does go dark side, it's basically there to whoop. It's basically there to keep him in check. But the Zur-En-Arrh, I was like, oh, you're gonna use that story, which again, I have no issues with, and I can't wait to see where that goes.
So I want, and I doubt he's going to do this, but this is just a hard reach. I want Failsafe to be infected and it to be Hardak, or not Hardak. What's that robot that kept trying to replace Batman in the animated series? No, wait, was it Hardak?
It was Hardak.
See, I think Hardak and I think She-Ra, so.
Yeah, you're right. That was it. That was his name. But still, though, that was still an amazing. It was still an amazing issue. But then again, to see said, "Boy, why do you call me?" I said, "I was like, he went Kratos." I was like, "Really?" He said, "Boy." I was like, "Yep, that's
Don't worry, boy, it's me." And I'm like, "Oh, well, clearly, I don't know much about Batman mythology, but I know this is bad."
Oh yeah.
No, this was a great issue. I applaud that we're going this far into the deep end this fast. Catwoman was fantastic again, but Chip Zdarsky is also doing that backstory there. I'm waiting to see when they intersect. Batwoman is dealing with the fallout of the Penguin dying in the opening of the first issue, so we'll see. Yeah, see, there he is. He exists, people. We promise you. Anytime I see Duke, I get happy because, it was a character that, I understood why he was created, but I don't. They never do anything with him.
Yeah.
We never see adventures of the Signal in the Gotham's daytime. He's always there as a background character, or when they want to introduce a fish out of water in the Wayne family.
Well, I mean, true. I can kind of see that. He's always there, but maybe that's how good of a job he does.
Yeah.
He does his job so well he can't be published. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's pretty much it. Oh, you know what his job is? I just thought about it.
What's that?
All of his stuff is the Adam West Batman adventures.
Hey.
Moving on over in DC, we got Dark Crisis issue 3 of 7. This is written by Josh Williamson, pencils by Dan Sampier, with inks by Dan Sampier, Dan Hernquist, and why are there 3 Dans doing ink?
I said that 5 times fast.
Dan Sampier, Dan Henriquez, and Danny Miki with Alejandro Sanchez doing colors. This is just more of this Crisis thing, which I understand in issue 4 we're getting the true title because this is like a misnomer. God, how do I put this? Black Adam tries to get just the young Justice League to step up and realize, hey, the world's going to crap. You're going to have to kill some people.
Pretty much.
Damian's like, cool, gotcha. Everybody else like, wait a moment. Meanwhile, the Green Lantern Corps, consisting of everybody, which makes no sense, but at this point, I just don't care anymore about continuity because this book clearly doesn't. Hal Jordan, Kyle Rayner, and Joe Mullins try to take on Pariah. Hal gets, I guess, Barry Allen into a Green Lantern world, which we'll get a tie-in comic for. And Hal, I don't know why we continue to write Hal this way, but this is the pivotal reason why I don't like Hal. He is such a one-note character. He's taken to a strange land. He has no ring. He doesn't try to find out where he is. He doesn't try to find out where his companions went. His only concern is, how do I get a ring?
That part I was like, of all things, it's like, well, you're gonna get your bearings. I guess you're gonna go somewhere.
How am I gonna get my ring?
So the whole Sector John, you were in Sector John Stewart. I mean, what?
Like, I harp on him so much, and I'm just given so much fuel every time I get it.
Although the whole thing about Black Adam, though, he's like, why are y'all not getting this? You have to kill. No. And of course, he winds up seeking out Lex Luthor and his pals. He's like, so you need our assistance. Which is kind of weird, as it says the last part of the issue is basically Black Adam versus Legion of Doom. I'm like, versus? He's gonna fight them?
Well, he may. Interestingly enough, in this crisis, we haven't seen the Joker.
True. He is bound to pop up eventually.
Maybe. Usually, and even with Infinite Crisis, they left the Joker out on purpose because they've always says like, we can't count on you for jack crap.
But you would think.
I'm wondering. No, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying you would think that in the midst of chaos, he would pop up and say, "I leave you guys alone for 5 minutes."
That's actually what happened in Infinite Crisis. They asked like, "Where's my invitation?" Like, nobody wants you during these things because they can't get their bearings on you. That's why he's in Infinite Crisis. He's the one that technically puts an end to it because he kills Alexander Luthor.
But still, you would think that he'd pop up, well, unless they're going to plan to pop up. This is really only episode.
Also to be fair, the last not Crisis, even though it was a crisis, I don't care what you say. Dark Knight's Metal and Dark Knight's Death Metal was nothing but the Batman who laughed. So
yeah,
I think we're a little jokered out. My only question on this is are we getting a second version of Forever Evil? Which, for those of you who don't know, Forever Evil is when all the superheroes of Earth vanished. Some of the villains stepped up to be heroes against worse villains. And I'm kind of worrying if that's where we're headed again because they're trying to put Luthor in a corner, and you just don't put baby in a corner.
I'm gonna be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if they did. Considering how it's playing out, it's like, I mean, Deathstroke's army's still causing hell, so
yeah,
you're gonna have something. You're gonna have to either have something or someone go up against that group. So yeah, I can see that.
It just like one of those things. Like, are we really rehashing Forever Evil?
Yes.
Josh Winston. I'll give him more credit for that. The man knows his game. The man knows his stuff. So I'm wondering if this is just alluding to it or paying homage. But it just kind of took me out of it. It's like, why are we doing Forever Evil a second time?
You know why. You know why.
Oh, I just got a message. The Versus System trading card game will be getting a boys expansion.
Nice.
Also, Battle Spirits has been officially announced for North America release. Battle Spirits is one of the longest running Japanese card games. Jumping on over to DC, it's time to see what the Avengers, the X-Men, and the Eternals are doing. We're going to be looking at first Immortal X-Men number 5. This is written by Karen Gillian with art by Michelle Bandini and colors by David Curell. Guys, I am going to make one brief statement about this before we go into the comic. Immortal X-Men and X-Men Red are what happened specifically to the Quiet Council and what happened to Mars during the first issue of AXE,
right?
Judgment Day. So, on the Quiet Council side, we get to a lot of focus on Exodus, his origins, and the psychic attack that happened to the Quiet Council as the Eternals start their war against the X-Men. This really focused on all the psychics. We do see some of the fallout, like them killing Egg from the first episode. Wolverine taking out Jack of Knives.
Yeah.
I'm always leery about that because I always want to say Jack of Hearts. And it's focusing on Exodus, taking on, we learn about his past. He may or may not have been secretly Prince Valiant.
That's what they alluded to, but yeah.
which is weird because that's a Valiant Comics character, but just the way he looked like he was definitely of the the Crusades period. When he first discovered his powers, we learned that he dealt with Apocalypse for a very long time, then eventually Magneto, and he is alone. Him alone is enough to take on the psychic attack that went against him, but the damage was done. Oh no, not a bad book. Kieran Gillian continues to knock it out of the park, especially with these smaller individual character pieces. I think that's what he excels at.
Yeah.
His Eternals book is very well done. Probably right up there with Neil Gaiman's version of the Eternals. His closer introspective on the X-Men is just as good.
Yeah, I can see that.
I enjoy it, but again, this is just kind of filling in some blanks from the first issue of AEX last week.
Before the beatdown.
Oh yeah.
Before the beatdown.
Before Grampy Apocalypse comes down on Mars.
Jesus.
He's in another book. So speaking of that, we have X-Men Red. So if you read X-Men Eternal or X-Men, the first issue of Judgment Day, Apocalypse's grandfather Uranos was let loose on Mars for an hour. X-Men Red number 5 tells the entire exploit of just how quickly Uranos decimated the entirety of Morocco.
Ooh, I'm sorry.
It was not pretty. So this is written by Al Ewing, art by Stefano Caselli, and colors by Federico Blee. The long and short of it, Uranos comes down. Iska immediately switches sides because she's like, "Yeah, I'm not winning this." Nightcrawler immediately takes her off the board because he's like, "Oh, you're switching sides. We have no chance of winning this.
Right.
You're not helping." And just pretty much, it's just a curb stomp. Like, I don't even know what Uranus's powers are. Basically, just from how quick and how thorough he's killing everybody. Outside of, how do I put this? Inuyashing Magneto.
Mm-hmm. Disrespectfully. It just there is no other way I can say about this issue except the fact that for one whole hour it was just, I know I use the words disrespectful ass whooping a lot, but this was a disrespect.
This was the Dora Milaje fighting Steve Walker.
Yes, it was a disrespectful ass whooping. And then this, for 1 hour, you have 1 hour to go wreak hell on Mars and then come back. It's like, and then you have Magneto afterwards. It's like, that was it. It's like, dude, he came down, and none of you could stop him. You couldn't stop an Eternal.
As I said, I still don't know what his power set is. All you just saw were like honeycombs or something.
Yeah. But I mean, he's on that same level, I guess. But just the fact that he just tore through everybody like a fart through silk just kind of says a lot.
Oh, he's Thanos' grandfather.
Yeah. So he's like, already got the power of Eternal, so I guess that makes sense. But still, my God. I mean, I was at least a scratch, a punch. No, he's like, and my time is up.
Yeah.
It's like, is there none to oppose me? Oh, my time is up. Okay, well, I have to come back.
I also didn't put this in the comments. I did read X-Men House of 92. The current issue is their version retelling of X of Swords.
Okay.
Do you remember that weird, like, Thundar episode where Storm meets, like, their barbarian king from another world and falls in love with him? I think it was, like, in season 4. Arcanos or something?
Vaguely.
He kind of looks like Thunder the Barbarian.
Huh.
Yeah, that's their analogy for Ten of Swords.
Gotcha.
It wasn't bad. It was super goofy, and honest to God, it has a better explanation for how Dark Beast comes into being than Dark Beast has ever had.
Damn.
Because it's one of those, oh, if you're killed over there, you come back weird. So Hank gets killed on accident over there
Okay.
and comes back as Dark Beast. But I will say the Deadpool cameo in this is fantastic because he's fighting Psylocke. Is like, are you the British version? Is this the body swap? Has that happened yet? I'm in this book. I'm not sure what's going on. There is no continuity in any of this. Technically, I wasn't even in the cartoon you guys are in.
Oh, Deadpool and the fourth wall break. So, which Cyclops are you now?
She just like tries to knife him, and he's like, "Oh, thank God, sweet release. I don't want to be in this series."
Damn. Just damn.
It wasn't bad. Again, it's super weird, and I guess that means next issue is going to be the Hellfire Gala for them.
I'll take your word for it on that one.
I'm only reading it just like piecemeal. Moving on over, we actually have a really fun book. We have Jed McKay's Moon Knight issue 14.
Mm-hmm.
Written by Jed McKay, art by Alessandro Capuccio, art by Rachel Rosenberg. Moon Knight Mark called a meeting with Jake and Steven over Steven interfering with the Zodiac fight. And this is just a fight of them trying to like get their ducks in order.
Oh,
Certain
yeah.
things are said about each other. And this is all going on while Mark is trying to fight like some assassins. And I honestly God thought one of them was Sabretooth for a bit.
It looked the way it was drawn, yeah.
It's like, well, that doesn't make sense because Sabretooth is currently running X-Men Hell, so.
I just thought it was interesting, like a Sabretooth and neon magenta. But
well,
no.
see, the thing is, I thought that we were leading up to like the female assassin actually turning out to be the therapist, and that just wasn't the case. I was like waiting for her to take the mask. I was like, it was the therapist the whole time, but no. No, this is just kind of Mark trying to get his stuff in order and realizing, oh man, yeah, I suck.
Oh, dude, I could do this all on my own. It's like, no, you needed all, you needed us. It's like, Jake may have been a scoundrel, but he had friends. Steven might be a dick, but you're spending all his money. It's like, so.
Like, what do you contribute? A body?
That part was funny. It's like, at least, he may be a scoundrel, but Jake's got friends everywhere.
I mean, he even points out, like, why do all the strippers in Jake's area look like Marlene?
Oh, man. That part was funny. But you're right. The whole time he's like, well, why don't you tell the therapist that you have a disorder? I'm trying to protect her. From who? But it was interesting the whole time. They're having a freaking conference mid-fight. Only for him to turn around and finally admit it's like, you know what? You're right. I cannot do this alone. And then Tiger shows up. It's like, wait, where have you been this entire doggone time? I'm having a conference and getting my ass handed to me. You decide to pop up at the end like a Yu-Gi-Oh card. Like, hold up. Say what?
So that sounds about right. It's Tigers.
It just threw me off. I was like, you popped up like a hidden Yu-Gi-Oh card. Well, I'm getting my ass whooped. But no, it was a really good. It was a really good issue. The fact that the whole thing is just like we need to have a conversation, but we still got to fight. We can do both at the same time.
Jim continues to delight to no end. His Moon Knight is continuing to be consistently fantastic for 14 issues. I honestly don't think we've had a bad issue of this.
Oh no, every issue's been great so far.
His Black Cat is just seminal. Black Cat. I hope to God Sony is smart to get him as an acting consultant when they do their Black Cat movie. Which, if they do use him, they could actually do a decent Black Cat story.
Keep in mind, Sony also gave us the script for Morbius.
I mean, I'm not with the youth, so I don't know what a Morbin is.
It's almost sit there and say, they gave us the script for Morbius. I know you're supposed to have faith, but Sony better make a call. Sony better be making a call out to Marvel. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I'll just put it this way in wrestling terminis. Well, chicken salad.
Oh God.
And we got an honorable mention tonight of Ghost Rider number 5. Hell's Backbone is this issue. This is written by Benjamin Percy, art by Corey Smith, inks by Oren Jr., and coloring by Brian Valencia. I guess the best way to put this is Death Race 3000.
Pretty much.
Where the majority of the Marvel's magical characters and some non-magical characters are in a bike race for unlimited hell powers.
Yeah,
I'm kind of confused. But we get to see a lot of goofy versions of motorcycles, including but not limited to Wolverine on his motorcycle, Doctor Doom on his motorcycle,
Dracula on one, Blade on one.
Dracula, Blade, the Rhino. I wouldn't know where Rhino got the money to make a motif-themed motorcycle.
Well, he could be still teamed up with Norman Osborn.
Actually, I think that may not be that bad of a thing, but still.
Still, though, it's just the whole episode. It seems like it's going to be a premise, really, to that, especially with Hell's Backbone, the fact that Johnny is still struggling. Johnny is still struggling with the gash in the back of his head, and then finally, what comes out of it is choking the life out of him. Wolverine, for some odd reason, is a part of this and decides to save him. And now it's like they're going to at least be together in the next couple of issues. So, I don't know. I mean, it wasn't a bad issue. It's just, it feels like it was more of a setup, especially with the War Witch being hit by Zeb and saying, "Oh, I'm not with the Rider, but I'm not against him either. But we still need him." So I'm gonna politely ask you to get out of my way.
I'm still confused on what her whole deal is.
They didn't explain it, and I'm still waiting for that. It's like, what is her whole connection? Because
we're on issue 5. Even issue 5 in Punisher right now, Maria's starting to ask where the kids are and is getting a little bit more insistent about that.
Well, that's the thing that bothers me about this, because I do know she's never really been mentioned almost in some of the Rider stories I remember. I don't remember her being mentioned. So I don't know if she's a new character or it's just a story out there I don't know about. But yeah, you're right. 5 issues in, we gotta have a tie-in to the reason why she's trying to track down the Rider. Aside from Blackheart, which again, I'm not mad about Blackheart. Blackheart's always been a great villain. So to see him at the end of the issue makes sense. But again, the whole fitting in with her.
Not really, because Blackheart is not the Johnny Blaze villain.
Right. He's for Blackheart, Robbie.
He's Danny's devil.
Thank you. I was gonna think Blackheart's either Danny or Robbie, but that's cool. But and then what's his face? Johnny's
always dealing with Mephisto.
Thank you. That's the name I was looking for.
Which in this case, yes, it is Mephisto's fault, but not really. This time it's Blackheart, which is weird. Like, I think the only time they've actually really tangled is when Johnny was the king of hell and had to usurp Blackheart, but I've always associated. God, my hair is weird tonight. Blackheart with Danny Ketch, not.
He's never been associated with. I'm not saying not with Johnny Blaze, no, but except that one crossover, but that was a lot of issues ago.
I mean, we're getting a new Ghost Rider book coming out because I think his anniversary is getting ready to come up. Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
50 years of Ghost Rider, and I know we're getting like Spirit Riders, where it's the newly established Spirit Rider, Ghost Rider. I think maybe all 3. I might be wrong about that, and Vengeance. But
I think you're right.
Well, I hope to God, because the last time we saw Danny Ketch's, he was face down in a puddle of mud in front of a bar.
True. He did kind of get fucked up. But
yeah, I don't know why that is. I guess Danny Ketch is just kind of superfluous now with Robbie Reyes. And Johnny Blaze being back in the forefront. I guess there's no point to having Danny Ketch.
That is a fair assumption, but I don't know if they're trying to do something with that or they're just having him in the background. One, or two.
It's got to be the background because they have not brought that dude up in like a good while.
No, that's a fair point.
Honestly, I'm okay with this right now. I want them to kind of hurry up with this one because if the Punisher book can move forward, I'm wondering why this one can't. That's why I got honorable mention rather than let's full rundown.
That's fair.
I just kind of want more from this. But also, August is going to start up a whole bunch of new books, including the new Thunderbolts book I'm looking forward to. Where Luke Cage has appointed Hawkeye to assemble a new team of Thunderbolts to let the city of New York know that superheroes are a good thing. So I'm eagerly awaiting that. I'm also eagerly awaiting that long announced book that was supposed to come out during Luke Cage's anniversary event of City on Fire.
Wait, I thought
Yeah,
that
that
came out till...
That got pushed back.
I thought that's not coming out till November.
That was supposed to come out during the Luke Cage anniversary.
Right, but didn't they say they pushed it back to November?
Yeah, I'm still waiting for it to come out, is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait a second. Did they go? I thought for a second they went beyond November now. I was like, damn. I was gonna say for a second.
Yeah. So yeah, these are the books this week. All good. Power Rangers was fine. Shadow finally read it. I think I got a message from it at like 3 or 4 in the morning going, holy shit.
We gotta get his reaction to that because I know he's got a lot to say about that.
I called that crap like from Jump Street. The very moment they showed the Death Ranger, it's like, I know who it is.
Oh, Lord.
Yep.
Okay. Well, thank you for that, Joe. As we usually say, guys, of course, with comic books, definitely support your local comic book store. Ours is Rick Comic Book City. If you are in the Tennessee, specifically the Middle Tennessee area, Rick's Comic Book City is voted #1 comic book store for Nashville. Has 3 locations: Fort Campbell, Clarksville, and Donaldson. Please check them out. If you are in the known area, if you do not have a comic book store near you, you can definitely check out a library. Why? Because libraries still keep up with the latest manga, comics, and other multimedia, and you can still get a library card. Yes, you can still get a library card in 2022. Definitely check out your local libraries. Support the local comic book store if you can. Never forget, guys, and it's like I said before, keep up these places because a lot of people really do sleep on these areas, and you can find so much in a comic book store. I should know because I've spent close to a lot because I saw some signed comic books I saw in Murfreesboro. And I have to show you later, Joe, what I got because I was so happy, although I did spend a crap load of money getting this Daredevil variant. But still, I'm happy. But definitely check those things out. But as we're wrapping up, Joe, anything you want people to know about that you're doing this weekend or this week?
No, not too much. I'm still not really doing a whole bunch. I actually work 6 days straight with 9 hours. Jesus. With the exception today. Today was 10 hours. So I've just been playing Xenoblade Chronicles a whole bunch. I'm sorry I can't stream that. I am 40 hours in. I just got to chapter 4.
Damn.
And I'm at level 35, and I'm still getting killed by trash mobs of level 39. So
nice.
This has been a really, like, I wouldn't say brutal, but this is probably one of the darker ones.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with the opening being a war and just... you're seeing machines just roll over dead corpses of the battlefield.
Damn. Now I have Xenoblade 3. I have it actually sitting on my desk over here. I just haven't had a chance to crack it open and play it. So
yeah, it gets there. I think I'm starting to get on one of the big plot twists, which isn't super bad, but you know, you can only tell so many stories in this one. I mean, it's more fun than what's going on over in Relayer, which I am still streaming every now and then, but got me like a week in between because I can only take so much Sailor Moon Gundam stuff because we are just getting as cliche as it gets. At this point, I can pick which Gundam they're cherry picking from.
In your defense, you did call it.
Oh,
in your defense, you did call it.
And at some point, the new Gundam game comes out, SD Gundam Alliance. I got to see when that drops.
Is it in October? I've been thinking, I could be wrong. Is it either October or November? I think a lot of games are dropping in November.
Oh, no, it's August 25th.
Oh, I was way off. Oh, so that's actually 20 days from now. Okay,
so
cool.
Actually, yeah, I can start streaming SD Gundam Battle Alliance.
Sweet. And where you can find Joe streaming, guys, again, if you're on Twitch, it is Joe Italian last name, of course. His YouTube, Total Justice Gaming, because I believe you just actually reviewed the new deck a couple of days ago, right?
Yeah, I did a deck profile for one of the card games I play. I'm currently, we'll probably be putting that through its paces in a week or two, and then I got other stuff. There's a regionals happening in Duluth, Georgia. I might go to. But it's also Dragon Con weekend, so I don't know if I want to deal with that kind of traffic.
I don't know if you want to either. I would love to go to Dragon Con. Bucket list. But anyway, but cool. But with that being said, we do got some shameless plugging to do before we get out of here, guys. Let me first shout out to our buddy, usually who always supports us, Vaughn. Check him out, BigBZA on social. The other one was on Facebook, as he has podcasts himself, as well as making new beats. He is back to his producing ways. So definitely check him out, BigBZA on all socials. As for yours truly, guys, of course, I am on Snapchat, IG, TikTok, pretty much everything now, including Twitch, BlackFox447. You can definitely follow me on all socials. Like and share and let people know, as I like to post things that I've reviewed as well as do gym stuff, because sometimes I do a couple push-ups. At the same time, guys, I am all about pushing forward, being kind, being decent, because in this day and age, we are all going through something. Check on your people, check on your friends, check on your loved ones. Make sure you let them know what you're feeling, because you never know what a kind word can do. You might do a lot more than just, make them feel better. You may actually save a life. So definitely do that. Also, this does go without saying, but we're going to say it anyway. COVID is still around. Monkeypox is a big thing now. So if you're going to be in areas where high congestion or a lot of heavy traffic, please wear a mask, protect yourself. That way you'll be able to protect others. At the same time, guys, again, be kinder. You don't got to be a good Samaritan, but just be kind, be nice, say hello. Doesn't hurt to say hello back. But with that being said, guys, we will be back here next Friday, same Get Bit time, same Get Bit channel. And please let us know of everything you thought about that we talked about tonight. Whether you agree or disagree, we still want to know. Aside from that, Joey, last words for call tonight, sir?
Oh, yeah, I called out all the people doing weird think pieces on She-Hulk on my TikTok.
Oh, God, we save that for next Friday, because
I don't know why you guys are so scared of women. It's weird.
Hold that. Remind me next Friday. That is being talked about. I cannot believe I freaking forgot about that. But we're talking about that next Friday. But with that being said, guys, he's been Joe. I've been Will. This has been the Give It podcast for tonight. We are going to talk about that She-Hulk mess with people and their problems with She-Hulk. But anyway, we're going to talk about it next Friday. Take care of yourselves and each other, guys, and we will get through this. Have a good night, guys. Peace.
Don't be scared of women.